In this video, we're going to start inputting materials into Red Rhino software, but first I want to explain what you see on your screen. On the right, you can see that there's a drawing, and the drawing is highlighted now. So as I explained previously, when I make a material list or do material takeoff, I actually highlight the blueprint. Now we're talking about when you're estimating using paper blueprints. I highlight the blueprint and color code it. So as I count items, I highlight them so I don't count them twice. In this case, you'll see that I color coded the duplex receptacles yellow. The quads are shown in pink, and then all the conduit is shown with orange. Now I ran out of highlighter colors, but the point is as I rolled off or took off the conduit there, measured it, I highlighted it so I don't count it twice. Now this is a simple drawing, but in a real commercial drawing, you might see several rooms, even 10 rooms or more, shown on one blueprint page. So it's important that you count stuff or highlight stuff to know that you've counted it already so you don't count it twice. Now on the left again is the material takeoff list. Again, if you do a material takeoff on the example that we provided, your outcome might be different. You might have different lengths of conduit, okay? So check my work with your own work. Now, that said, on the left-hand side again shows the quantity of items, the materials of quantities, and on the right, what I did just for sake of you learning to use Red Rhino software is I explained how you would use Red Rhino assemblies or wizards or product catalog to input the materials. Normally, your material takeoff form wouldn't have anything to the right of quantity there. Okay, so next we're going to show how to get started using Red Rhino software with the material takeoff form. In this screenshot, we see the takeoff form on the right and Red Rhino on the left. So I'm just going to fly through this and show you how to input these materials, okay? Now, let me explain something. Your results might look a little bit different in Red Rhino. Red Rhino has material pricing, and they update that pricing each month, at the end of each month. So your prices might come out different, okay? So I'm not going to highlight what my prices are versus your prices. My idea is to show you how this thing works and how you can use the assemblies to estimate a lot faster. So follow along and input the materials into Red Rhino. I always like to start people at the estimate list. So assuming that you're logged into Red Rhino, this is the home page you see on the screen on the left. And I want you to start by creating an estimate. So you're going to go to the left and click the List Estimate button, or rather it's a link. Click on List Estimates. When you do, it'll open up and show you all the estimates that you have in Red Rhino. Now you'll see I have other ones that I've used for training or examples here. I'm going to click the New button at the top right. Do the same thing. Click New to create a new estimate. Now I'm just going to fill out, and I'd like you to do the same, I'm just going to fill out the minimum amount of fields needed to get going. And that is, you just have to type the name of the estimate in here. I'm going to name it Commercial Estimate. Now, of course, if you're doing this for real, you would actually put the name of the estimate in here. And don't ever mess with the material pricing over here on the right. Just click the Save button to create a new estimate. And when it stops spinning, you'll see the estimate listed in here. Now, next, you're going to create section or sections. The purpose of sections is to break out pricing. We're just going to create one section for this example. So you go down to the right, lower right here, click the New button. It opens a window. Type in the section name. Now, again, I have other videos that show you the use of sections, and I'm going to show you those videos in a minute here, but we're just going to name it Power and Lighting. Okay, and then next I click the Save button. Just do the same. Okay, and then when it saves, this is where it's time to rock and roll and input the materials. So we see the section name on the left. To the right, you see a link that says View Takeoff, or it's under Takeoff, and it says View and Takeoff Edit. We're going to edit this takeoff, so you click Edit Takeoff. Okay, now I'm going to walk you through actually inputting the materials from the material takeoff page. I'm going to walk you through that, but here's what you need to know. At the top, click on Video Clips. Okay, And then it has three columns you'll see at the top: commercial, residential, and structured cabling. So if you want to learn to estimate any of those disciplines, commercial electrical, residential electrical, or low voltage, which is structured cabling, you would watch the respective videos. For commercial, you would watch the first video there, John Kelsey Introduction to Takeoff, and then the videos down the left-hand side. Watch each and every one. Okay? Or residential, you'd watch the videos down the middle. Okay, or structured cabling, same thing. You watch the videos down the right-hand side. Okay, now that said, I'm going to walk you through now the material takeoff part of this. Again, back to the takeoff sheet, you notice that there's a list of items down one side, down under material. There's a quantity. And then on the right again, I took the time to write in how you would find those items. So 20 amp duplex receptacle, or rather 20 amp receptacle. Let me say 20 amp duplex. There's 8 of them. It says assembly catalog 200, commercial, industrial 14. Let me show what I mean. Over on the left, start by clicking the Assemblies button. And when you do, it opens up a list of assemblies. Now this is pretty self-explanatory right here. This is the assembly catalog. So again, on the right, it says assembly catalog 200. So we'll click on 200 for commercial assemblies. And then it says 14 receptacles. So under category receptacles, we'll click the plus sign next to 14. And it displays several different options for receptacle assemblies. Now we're going to drill down in this and input these assemblies. Again, the takeoff page on the right shows 8 of them. Okay, you should be able to see this bigger and better now. So we're going to drill down into receptacles, plastic plates, and it'll display the receptacles on the bottom. Now I'm going to grab this line right here, just put my cursor on it, left click, hold it down. I call this unsquinching to move this over so I can see where the items are. Now, when you're inputting any devices, you want to make sure and be mindful of if there's a specification grade. You'll see the list of receptacles here. There's specification 1, and spec 2 and standard. Now we're going to be looking for a 20 amp standard. I happen to know that's assembly number 6. So if just scroll down to assembly number 6, see how the description shows 1 receptacle, 20 amp standard, 120 volt. Now, just for your sake, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to just go put one of these in, and I'm going to add it. And you don't have to do this, but I want to explain it real quick. This is how the assemblies appear, okay? It'll show a description at the top. Let me just click save so you can see this. I'm going to go back and delete it, but I just want you to see how this works. This is how the assemblies work. The assembly for a duplex receptacle includes a 4S box, a plastering, some mounting hardware, just 50 cents for mounting hardware, the duplex receptacle, the plate, a ground pigtail, and some wire nuts, okay? So this is what one assembly consists of. Now I'm going to go through and delete these and just go input 8 of these assemblies as was shown on the takeoff sheet. Okay, so here I put 8 for the quantity in assembly number 6. Again, it reads receptacle 20 amp standard, 120 volt, PL, which means plastic plate, frame means it's in an open wall. So I just scroll up here at the bottom and click the add button. Now, don't click the add button repeatedly, because if you do, it's going to import a bunch of assemblies here. You just want to click add once, let it appear on the right, and then click the save button. Okay, so when you've done this a few times and know what you're looking for, this process gets really fast. Okay, but notice again, it input 8 4S boxes, 8 rings, 8 times 50 cents for mounting hardware, and receptacles, 8 receptacles, and so on. Okay, so when you input multiples of these assemblies, it shows or displays all the parts needed for all the assemblies. Now, I want to make a note of something else on this specific assembly. Look, sometimes you choose to use some kind of spanner bracket or caddy bracket or some type of item that spans the studs to mount your 4S box to. To edit this, you'll simply click on it. Let's say I use a caddy bracket that costs $4.50. Just click on this line, click edit. I'm going to change this to $4.50 instead of 50 cents. Change it to $4.50 and click save. Okay, now I want to explain something real quick here. Look at line 2, which is the 4S box, okay? It shows 8 of them. Look, the way the program is set up is it has national average pricing what they call national average pricing for materials, several thousand materials. Okay, so that shows the unit price, and you have to be aware of the unit of measure next to that. See how it shows the price of the 4S boxes is $58.04 per C. That is Roman numeral C. It means the price per 100. And so since we input 8 of those, it displays a price of $4.64 for all of these. It does the extensions for you. Now here's another thing. Red Rhino has a labor catalog. When you input labor, or I should say when you input something, it inputs the labor with that item, with that material item. It pulls it in from the labor catalog and shows the labor hours. Now eventually we're going to see a report that shows the total labor hours. I'll show you that in a few minutes. But it shows that the program shows 0.23 hours to install a 4S box. So it shows the labor for 8 of them, the extended labor, is 1.84 hours. Now guys, again, you have to pay attention to the unit of measure here. There's basically 3 of them in Red Rhino, and I'll show you more as I go along. There's E for each. We've already seen C for 100, right, per 100, and then there's M for 1,000. So E for each, Roman numeral C means per 100, and Roman numeral M means per 1,000. You'll see that in cable or wire, it's going to price and do labor per 1,000 feet. Okay, let me go on to the next item. The next item we see on the takeoff sheet is the 20 amp quad. It shows a quantity of 2. Now they're in the same category, if you will, of the duplex. I'll show you those in Rhino. Okay, if we scroll down a little further in this assembly category, we're going to look for quad assemblies, okay? So you see the 1 in parenthesis on these receptacle assemblies. A 2 in parenthesis means there's 2 of the devices, okay, which will be a quad. We're going to scroll down. I happen to know that they live at number 12 assembly. So number 12 here shows 2 duplex, 20 amp standard. So there was what, 2 of those on the takeoff sheet. We put input quantity of 2, scroll up here, click add, and then when it populates to the right, we're going to save it. There we go. Populates to the right. Again, this is the way the program displays assemblies. It shows the name of the assembly, the items in the assembly, and it ends with a dashed line to separate it from the next entry. I'm just going to click save to save my work.